Good day, everyone. Welcome to the Summit Sessions podcast. I am Caitlin Natalie Laurent, and today I have with me Dr. Rohit Gupta, who is with the Chamber of Commerce for the Eurasia Afro Chamber of Commerce. How are you doing today?
I'm great. How are you?
I am wonderful, and it's so great to have you on the Summit Sessions podcast and hearing all about the wonderful impact you're making. Now, the first question that I have for you is, can you share the vision and mission of the Eurasia Afro Chamber of Commerce and how it has evolved under your leadership?
Okay, so my name is Dr. Rohit Gupta. I am a chairman of Eurasia Afro Chamber of Commerce. I found this chamber in the month of July 2024, with the vision to easiness for trade between Asia and Africa. That is the first thing in come to my mind. Then I thought it will go slowly, so I did not plan a lot of things, but it will take a pace very fast. In last 6 months, we had a setup in 21 countries. We had a team of around 54 people in 21 countries directly. We had physical offices in India. We had two physical offices in India, one in Lucknow and second in Himachal Pradesh. We had an office in Liberia. We had an office in Nigeria, in Morocco, and in Ireland. Currently, we had a 15 virtual offices in other different countries. We had a team in 10 African countries. In Asia, we had a team in India, UAE, Singapore, and Philippines. We had a team in Australia. We had a team in New Zealand. We had a team in Brazil. We had a team in Ireland. We had a team in Serbia and Russia. Now we have a 10 or 11 countries where we had a team in Africa. We had a team in Ghana, Nigeria, Cameroon, Morocco, Egypt, Ivory Coast, Uganda, Kenya, Zimbabwe. And we had a virtual team in South Africa, in Swaziland, in Lesotho, and we are working more. It just set up in 6 months. We are not very old. We are not very vintage chamber. We are just setting in 6 months, and we secure some international investments from single family owned businesses of Europe and USA. Uh, we are planning to set up some SDG, Sustainable Development Funds for Africa, for agro waste and agriculture segment. We are planning to set up a Sustainable Development Goal funds for Indonesia, where we don't have any team, but we are planning to start from there because there are lots of women or girl students who don't have access to digital education. So we are trying to set up something for girl digital education system in Indonesia, and slowly we will grow. We had a tie-ups with some organization who had around 60,000 hectare land parcel in Africa. So where we planning to start plantation from this year, so that that tree will be set up in the next 4 or 5 years. So that like what Amazon rainforest do for the world, uh, we are just want Africa will do same for the in upcoming time forward. So there are a lot of land parcels in Africa. We just want to utilize there. We were trying to set up some commercial agriculture in Africa, so that grassroots farmers can get a benefit from that, because Africa had some lot of issues like political disbalance, high level of corruption. So the upper class will get benefits, whatever the funding they get from United Nations or as a Africa Union and other big banking segments. But the grassroots farmers cannot get any benefit from anyone. Nobody want to invest in them. because there is no return for any investment at grassroots level. So we are trying to set up something for them like it's a sugar cane, tea, cocoa, and other rubber, those kind of commercial agriculture segment for them. So we are trying to set up some funds for them, trying to capture some single family owned businesses because they have a vintage funding. They had a their vintage mindset. The new commercial investors cannot go with them. They are just looking for profit only. They cannot do any social investment anytime. It looks like they are doing, seems like they are doing, but they cannot do actually. So I am usually pressuring the severage bodies who are who was in existence since 1200 or 1000 year ago. So they think about people because they know how the royal families and the royal working doing. So they think about people. So I'm trying to connect them so that they can issue some funding for these grassroots people without expecting any return from them. We are planning to set up a eco ponds for wetland area in Africa. We are it's a that proposal for 40 eco ponds there. It will be a pilot project. It will take some time, but the planning is already started. We are planning to set up food silos in Nigeria as a pilot project there. Before some years back, that Ukraine do that a lot, but Russian-Ukraine war destroy each and everything now. So we will plan set up something in like that in a smaller scale. Ukraine do that in 100 million or 200 million, but we are planning to do that with the 20 million. Firstly, it's a pilot project, and we expecting we will complete in the next 2 years. Then we will do the same thing in Senegal and Malawi and some other part of Africa, and then India too, because India has a also very high population. Philippines and Indonesia too have a lot of population, so we are planning to these kind of things. We are just starting, so we had a lot of planning. We had some kind of things already started. We are raising the funding. It's an initial stage, but in the next 2 years, we will complete some project properly. Then our visibility and our mindset, our mission will be visible to each and every person.
Now, how can, businesses, entities, even people, how can they donate towards this project of yours?
Okay, so we are not just looking connecting each and every person. We are just setting first our own pilots so that people understand that what we are trying to do. Once they are able to understand, then we are not asking anyone to join us deliberately put money into us, and we will give a lot of return to them because our most of projects are related to basic human needs and basic people. We are not going with the high profile ecosystem in an initial stage. So people will already start joining us. We are raising finance for other entities too. But it's a totally depend on their project valuation, project approach. We are working on a blockchain. We are planning to set up some fintech system for Africa and Asia at a one way so that we can mitigate the currency exchange charges, the turnaround time from one country to another country. So we are planning to do that, and it's already in the process. We complete two events this month. On the 12th, we do one event which is related to like a Shark Tank, where we raise financing for it's a school, it's a college going students who are the who are the final year student of engineering and management student, and they are creating their business ideas, and we are raising finance for them in the initial stage, and we are then starting tie up with the International Human Rights Commission and international interfaith peace and religious dialogue teams, so that we will put a people at a one stage, at a one platform, where we can discuss not just religion, the world peace, the environment benefits, environment peace, so that when peace will be there, we can do more business. That is an ancient way of do trades. Like even when we studied the Silk Route area, the Silk Route, that is the ancient trade route for almost 2000 years, started from Venice, ended in Mongolia. So there are lots of countries covered, lots of religion there, but they cannot touch trade there. Traders can get proper benefit. That's why lots of Chinese made silk products sold in Italy, sold in Rome, sold in Venice and Baghdad. So they separate their geographical and demographical and religious fight apart from trade. But nowadays, countries fights not just with the geographical way, they are start the trade fights also, and which ultimately hamper everything, because when people are poor, they cannot think about the development. They think about just how to be survive, and when they reach at that level where they again starting to surviving, they are start killing more. The other so crimes will be happen again. Then the settled countries will be fall. So we need trade first, and we need a basic peace around the world for, so that the trade cannot be stopped. When people had money, they can think about other things. Otherwise, uh, people start fighting on those reasons which even not existing.
Yeah, I agree. Now, what are the key industries driving trade and investment in the regions of your chamber overseas?
Okay, so we are firstly try to more on agriculture. We are organizing a two agriculture expos next month in Africa. First in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. That's from 20 to 22nd February, and second on Lagos, Nigeria, from 25th to 27th February. So we are raising financing for them. We are raising insurance, export financing, import financing instruments, everything whatever they can need it. And we are picking some exhibitors who can participate with us there. Some companies who are not able to join as a proper exhibitor, we are asking them to join as per their initial sampling and catalog, so that we can raise orders for them. Also, Africa need a lot of agriculture equipments, which will be supplied by China, India, and Singapore. So we are trying to set up something like some manufacturing units in Africa, so that those equipment will be manufactured in Africa only, so that costing will be declined, and the availability and transportation cost will be also is lower. After agriculture, we are focusing on healthcare. It's a pharmaceutical industry, because Africa need a lot these kind of things, and we are planning to set up some pharmaceutical manufacturing in Morocco firstly, then some other Madagascar, Morocco, and some other countries. Slowly, so, we are in the process in the talking. After these two, we are we are focusing on education. We are planning to some set up some US, UK, and Russian and Chinese and Japanese universities regional campus in Africa and Asia, because so that in Asian and African students not need to be travel USA, England, and Germany and Japan like countries for study, because they get the same degree from there only. Then it will be saved the costing of living and other expenses which they need to bear, like hostel fees or the other food fees, costing वगैरह, it's a kind of things though at least we can minimize that cost, and the fees structure will be the same. Whatever they paid in USA, they will pay the same fees in their own country, so that their living cost will be declined, so that they save something and get a university degree of this country, so that if they want to work there, they can directly travel to USA, UK, and other part of world. So third, that is also our motive. And those places where people not get any education system, we are trying to set up some universal or international universities or schooling system, where at least some of high profile people or doctors or teachers can go to teach them. uh, the Indonesia, which we are planning to do the girl digital education system. This is the one of our planning to, at least if we are not able to go to each and every place, we will provide them a digital way, like a phone, like a tablets, so that we can teach them on a digital way. So this is our third main point. The fourth is we are trying to set up planning to create a religious harmony between different religions, and planning to set up a pilgrims tour on those places which are losing their existence or it's a reputation. So we are trying to set up some Christian pilgrim tour in Africa first, because usually Christian cannot travel to Africa for pilgrims, but we found some sites which is mentioned in the Old Testaments and New Testament. So we will planning to do some religious tour. It's not just they are come for religious activities, but when people are coming for pilgrim tours, it will be create some awareness of those places in the world, that these people are coming for tourism. So it will be help to tourism for tourism. It will be benefit to airlines. It will be benefit to hotel industries, local markets, and initially, usually these kind of tours will be is a rich people or high profile people will come join us in an initial way, so they can even participate in investment in those areas. So once it will be famous, then multiple people will come, so then government will also take care of those places, because that is now become it's a tourist place. So it is a kind of awareness we are trying. I plan a lot and start working on all the things, but it will take some time and some people to convert into reality. So we are starting already on agriculture and pharmaceutical. We are already started, and for education and pilgrims tour, we are in a planning situation. And I will plan to organize an interfaith peace and religious dialogue in all four continent. Firstly, we will start in Australia, then Ghana, then India, then in London. We are not include America continent yet, because my chamber's name is a Eurasia Afro Chamber of Commerce. So it's a Europe, Asia, and Africa. Once we is a, once we able to set up in these continent, then we will move further for USA. Otherwise, we are happy in these current areas. So these are the four major segment. Is agriculture, healthcare, education, and religion, because these four in a basic thing. If we leave them, then other thing will become the luxurious things will come later. Firstly, we need to uh, put our foundation. We need to be eat first, so we need agriculture there. We need to be stay healthy. For that we need a healthcare. We need to be educated, so we need to be education segment there, and we need to be stay in a peace and is a as a harmony. So we need a religion there. So the first four focus are these. Then other activities are already working. So some sort of other trades is happening, some investment is happening, blockchain is a energy segment. These all are working in a background, but the main focus are these four segments.
Right. Now, as chairman, what are the biggest challenges you face in promoting international trade and investment? Like, because I know you're saying that the main thing, um, investment wise, is with the agriculture, which on
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
go ahead.
Okay. So for the first main challenge for me, there is a language barrier because we had a team in a 21 countries, and some of them is a French-speaking countries. I am not very fluent in French. We got some projects so for in a French writing, so we need sometime translator. Second, the is a other different barrier is uh, timing, because we work in a different time zones, so sometimes we miss communication. Some miscommunication also happen sometime. In the term of financing, I knew the basic funda of investment, that the current investment segment, which go with the Series A, Series B funding, they cannot put their money in a risky segment. They usually go with the upcoming segment, which they feel like this will be the future. But they are forgetting instantly that without healthcare and without agriculture, there is no future. Without peace, there is no future. So I'm not blaming that, but this is the reality. So that's why I put most effort to those entities who are the part of investment segment since ages, like since 100 years, since 200 years, because their organization seen everything. They seen the world wars, they seen the Spanish flu, COVID, and plagues. They seen the droughts, they seen the hungry people, the hungry entire countries. They seen everything. So they had some that kind of vision which we needed, because they think like that. They seen everything, so they knew there is anything permanent. There is what is the basic need thing, they can participate in those. So that's why I usually tap them, ask them to participate with us. So there are a lot of severance bodies who are running in the world since ages, since 1,000 years. So they they understand the things. And the family owned businesses, they also knew, because they are a generational business, and their generation seen everything. The current people who are generate financing from like a mutual fund or PMC and other financing way, they cannot put their money in these segment, because sometimes the return is not assured, sometimes there is no return, sometimes principal will also lost, so they cannot put their money in there. But ultimately these segment need money, because if this will be stopped, so maybe we had a gold, but we don't have a rice to eat. Then what we do with the gold?
That is, yeah. Now, I know you shared with us that the issues you're having is within the language barrier, because not everyone can speak the language of the other country. So how do you approach that when it comes to building strong relationships with such diverse cultures and economies?
So firstly, I try to talk one on one. I try to talk with each person one on one. If I face some barrier, some language issue, then we found some translator who can speak English and their language. Like it's just an example. We had a one virtual meeting with the Cameroon persons. They had some 2, 3, 4 project which they needed financing, and the all the project will be written in a French. And that person who represent him, he's mostly speaking on a French. He speak in English, but not able to convey what he want and what kind of those projects in English. So then I because now we had a team of 54 person. Then I found 3 person in my team that who can speak English and French both. So I invite one of them who will be available. Then he connect to me with them, and then he can translate. He will learn for understand what he's doing. Then he translate to me. Then I go further with the investor. So initially it will be difficult, but now we had a lot of people in a team, and people from a different part of Africa, different part of Asia. So they can speak different languages. English usually people can speak. So sometime we need a two translator in between who can speak Arabian and French only. Then we found someone who know the English and French both. Then he translate all the thing and convert to me. Otherwise, I decentralize the entire team. It's not just me controlling each and everything. So I appoint Africa head who is from Uganda. So he knew French, he knew Russian, he knew English, he knew Ugandan and Kenyan language. So he can handle when I am not able to do that. And sometimes some people who talk only in Hindi because we are dealing with the farmers, and usually farmers are not all educated, so they cannot speak a lot of languages. So some different country we find some farmer who speak only native language. Then we find some translator or some people who can speak English and their local languages. Or even I know 17 languages, but sometimes those languages which I know, people not come from that. So I knew the Latin, I knew the ancient Armenic, uh, it's a Hebrew. Because I am a writer, also I written a 24 books, so I need to be learn. But one person cannot learn a 2,000 or 3,000 languages. It's very difficult. So we had some constraint, but we had a people in everywhere now. So we had a support of International Human Rights Commission. They have around it's a quarter to 1 million volunteer around the world. So sometimes I use them to do work with or for translation or understanding what local people want. But
Okay.
when we shift to North and South America, we need some more translator because there are more.
Bless you.
Sorry. So then there are a lot more languages which are not participate in Africa and Asia.
Yes, I can just imagine. Now the trends that you see shaping the future of trade between Eurasia and Africa, as you're focused on agriculture, healthcare, education, and technology, correct?
Yes.
Now, when it comes to technology, how has that impacted the way businesses collaborate across borders?
Yeah, it's a technology. Without technology, we cannot run in 21 countries. It's a very difficult to travel everywhere. Each person cannot travel. So it's a very important, and it's a financial system is very vast right now. We had a lot of fintech, so it will be very easy to get a transaction in one country and receive in another country. We are already working on that. We had we found some fintech system from with that. If somebody in Namibia receive goods from Uganda, then he can transfer money to Uganda in a half an hour and 1 hour. And if this can be possible just because of technology, and we are working on a more advanced technology for these things because we are want some turnaround time or decline, like somebody send money in, second person receive money in a different country within 5 or 10 minutes. And also that currency exchange charges, this is very difficult and dangerous part because some product who have value $100 in one country, another country had to be pay $120 for the same commodity or same product. So we are looking for something that that gap will be reduced so that importer and exporter get both benefit. Otherwise, ultimately, the end user, the end buyer or customer had to be pay everything. So the costing will be increased. So we trying to do generate some one single fintech for the entire Africa. Once that will be happen, we will try to do same in Asia. Also, we are very easily because of technology. Maybe time change, time zone is different, but still we are able to connect with the people from different countries on a virtual call firstly. Then we can move with the physical meeting if that required. And this is very essential because if technology not there, people cannot know how the other world will be the do that because very distressed places around the world. So we listen everything, every news because of technology. We knew before 1 hour where bomb is blasted, where flood is coming, and where tsunami is there. So it's very essential. So we are working on a technology system. We had some inbuilt team member who are a specialist in a blockchain, specialist in a social tech system, environment tech system, fintech system, and agrotech. That is our basic part. We are working a lot on agrotech and fintech. These are our basic essential. The rest other things are we are working on this.
Now, when it comes to currency, and forgive me if you have already said this, but I know that there's issues when it comes to currency because in one country, currency can be up, and then another, that same currency can be down. Would you ever incorporate like blockchain?
Yes, we are planning to do that. Either we are able to do a one single fintech system, which will be enabled with the one currency, so that the currency exchange rates will be lower. Or if we are able to do that, then we are convince buyer and supplier to do payment on crypto, any kind of crypto, so that we will convert that crypto according to their own country and transaction do that transaction. That then currency exchange will also decline if we use crypto. In a later stage, we are planning to set up some token system for all investors and all importer and exporter, because we are also trying to capture to take over some banks with through our investor, so that we had our own banking system within ours, and we will issue bank account for each of our importer and exporter, so that their transaction can be is identical or universal. So it will be a long journey. It will take a long time, but we are planning to do that, and at some point of time we will do that. We will achieve that. Not now, but maybe after 5 years, after 10 years, but we will achieve that.
But that's great though that you have that timeline of what you want to achieve. You're not sitting here and going, it needs to be done right now. You're
Yeah,
actually doing a
anything cannot do have right now. That's not happen.
yeah, but that's what I'm saying. That's what's amazing because most people, when it comes to a big project as what you're doing, it's they're trying to push everything to happen right now. And they're not understanding the full scope of things like this take time.
Yeah, so that's why I start the chamber, because if I started one single company like a private limited or any company, uh, that just when I will go, I will die or retire, that company's vision will be ended. But chamber is a people association of people. There are lots of team member, lots of people. So in a starting, the vision and mission is mine, but now people join my vision and my mission. Now laterally that will be become their vision and mission. So if I am will be not there after 5 years or 10 years, then somebody else who take my place, he will go the same way. It can be sometime like I am planning to do the religious harmony or interfaith dialogue and I believe that cannot be happen in the next 100 years. It's not just me, maybe my grandson or his grandson can see what we are trying to do, but we are just initiating. It will take a long time. It is a long journey. So we had 8 billion people in the world, and it cannot be solved in these kind of things. It will take a long time. It will
It
be a
does.
generational time. So if I started, it's maybe I'm not able to see in my lifespan that will be happen. But if I started some part of done in my lifespan, some part of done, another chairman come, maybe he will do something. Then maybe it's a fourth or fifth generation can able to achieve anything. So actually, I am a cancer survivor. I have suffering from a lung cancer. So in the last 6 years, I spent 72 days on a ventilator. So I survived the septic shock. I survived the brain stroke. I survived 5 times COVID. Now it's a lung cancer is happening. So I seen that survival situation. So that's why uh, whenever like these kind of situation, I still surviving. So I thought something I need to be do. That will be for the future. So I planned a lot. Then I am a writer also, so I can write a lot of the visions. And when I
Hmm.
then I had a complete set of a vision. Then I start this chamber because chamber is an organization which I can set in multiple locations. Uh, chamber is a basically is a it's a commercial organization name, but it's also an association of
This is
people.
very true. This is
So
very
I
true. What
make the
advice
name
would
of
you
chamber, but
give to
we are
young
my basic
entrepreneurs?
plan is for
Because I
women,
know
but we can do
entrepreneurs
for the
nowadays, they
basic
start at a
human.
very young age. You
So I
have kids
started with
that
that.
are,
So
the age of 10 years
as
old
soon
that
I
are
started
their first
I
little
clear my
chunk
vision
of
to
change
different
that they
people,
make is,
and they
either having
understand
a
what I
lemonade
trying to do,
stand at,
what is
in their
my
yard,
mind of
or
set,
they're delivering
and they
newspapers.
join accordingly.
So
So some
what bit of
people,
advice can you
even in
share
the
to
last six
them?
months, almost 10 people left this organization because they did not find any profitability. They seen something is in a short term, so they cannot move further because my vision is a different. I know whatever my planning and what is the basic mission of chamber which I use for setup. It will take time. It cannot be happen in a just we are thought and people are come and give a lot of money to do that. It will take a lot of time, and people are joining. Some people are leave, but new people are also join us when they think, when they understand that what are we are trying to do, and slowly it will be come into line. Some more ideas will become, and when now all the pilots projects we had in a physical copies of all the pilots project. We started with the talking with some United Nations organizations, some governments, and some people who are like they are telling me like we are also thinking about this since 5 years, but we cannot do any paperwork or anything on that. So we are not just complete the paperwork, we are just putting on the ground. So that's why I tie up with the one organization who had a 60,000 hectare land in Africa. So as a chamber, I don't need any land and I don't need any organization who had a land there. But I tie up with them because they are planning to do the tree plantation, and now I invite the investors. They cannot, no investor can put money on a tree plantation because they cannot get anything in the name of money, because no money grow on any tree. So they cannot go in that. But when I invite them for other commercial projects too, they put their money on there, and I asking them that if you earn 8%, just 1% that transfer to for the tree plantation, or if you provided 1% commission to chamber, half of that commission we will shift to the tree plantation. So at least thousands of a hectare we can at least not thousands, but at least hundreds of hectare we can come with the tree plantation. So it will be a long plan. We cannot put a 60,000 hectare land covered by the tree plantation in 1 year. It will be take 30 years. But we had now land, we plan for the 30 years. Maybe it will be complete in 5 years, but we plan for longer. We cannot shrink in a very fast mode. Sometime when we started, people will join us. Everyone had these kind of things in their mind, but they not want to put their own feet first. They just want to follow. Yeah, but because I don't have I don't know next time maybe I survive or not, so I cannot wait for the next time. Whenever I feel like now this is time to start. If I survive 10 years, maybe I can survive 40 years. It's a different. I cannot assume that, but maybe I can not survive 6 months. So I cannot delay that things. Okay, so business is always there. So when we do the transactions, when we able to secure the trade, not just for Africa and Asia, we can secure the trade within Asia, within Europe and Asia, uh, Africa and Europe. So when we able to secure some deals, we put some money for our team members so that they can run their own houses too, and we put some money for tree plantation, for agro waste, because agro waste also generate business that also create money by biofuel and something else. But people don't want to enter directly, so we will give money some local social worker, so they get their day wages and clean the entire agro waste, and then we use that agro waste for the supply to fueling companies or biofuel system. And when we got any money from biofuel, that money we will donate to the farmers, so that they had a clean field, and also some money for buy some fertilizer or something,
Now,
whatever they need for
Dr. Gupta,
field.
this has been
So
a
business is
wonderful session
important.
with you,
If
and
we
I
don't
love
have
hearing about
money,
your
nobody
project of
support
you
us. It's a very
diving
simple
into
rule
agriculture and
of world.
education and
So we do
technology.
business, so
Love
people,
all of that
that's why people
because that
join
is
us,
what makes
and
the
people
world go around.
initiate
Agriculture
join
because
our
we
initiative.
need to be able to eat
So
and live.
money attract everything.
Education
That's why I
because
said
that is
any
honestly
peace
the best
only
thing to
happen
get
if
into,
people had
because
a
without
money.
your education, you
If
have
people don't
nothing.
have a money,
And
then
technology,
people
because
think about
why not?
something else,
Technology has
and that
come
something else is
so
a
far.
crime only.
The
There is
days
nothing
from
else.
where
People
everything
don't
was
want,
done on
if
pencil and
somebody don't
paper
have a
to
money,
now,
they
you
don't
can
think about
quickly
the
send
goal.
an
They
email,
just
you
think about the
can
crime.
send a fax, you can
This
send a
is the
text,
current reality of the
video
world.
calling, even
So
us being
if trade
on
will be happen,
something like
transactions will
this,
be happen, people
where
had
we may
at
not
least
be
little money. Not
physically in person,
not
but
everyone need to be
virtually
rich.
we are in person
It's
because
not
we are
possible.
still having that face-to-face interaction.
People, the world
So I
cannot
think that's
running
wonderful, and
like
I look
what Karl
forward to
Marx
hearing
said.
more and more
This
about
is a
this. And this is
capitalism
definitely
world, and the
something that
entire
I
world is
personally would
capitalism.
like to get involved
So everyone needs some money.
in, with
When
helping
somebody
to
had a
raise
money,
awareness for
then they
in any
not go
way that I
directly to the
can.
boss.
And that's what the Summit Sessions podcast is all about. This
It's a basic
platform
idea.
is used for
So
everyone to
that's
give
why
their
we
voice and
do
share
the business
what
also,
they're
and we
passionate
generate some
about.
funds that we
And I
can
want to thank
use
you
there.
for your time
Laterly,
today.
when people
I don't
or
want to keep you
governments
long.
think or
Get some
understand what
rest
we are doing, then they will join.
because
Otherwise,
I'm
nobody
sure
join
you
us.
are extremely busy. And in order to keep up your health, you do need to rest. I want to thank everyone for tuning in today. I am your host, Caitlin Natalie Laurent, and this is another episode of the Summit Sessions podcast. Have a great day, everyone.
Okay, so it's a it's a very good. People now understand the basic value of businesses, and but I just want like a new entrepreneurs. They are just not become a followers. They seen that some uh, big shot or
Question.
some small shot uh, achieve something, then they start following them, and that at the end that will be not remain innovation. Then if everybody come to that market, so whatever uh, they need to be generate something different that will be helpful for people, because in this scenario, when you create something which will be helpful for other people, people start buying that. And when people buying that, everyone get a funding, everyone get a, if something created some out of box and that will be not useful for public, nobody want to enter, uh, put money in there. So some people are techie, it's a fine, but if 80% of people are going to techie, then nobody want to interest in that. So needed, because I seen in a latest, I do as a work as a judge in a Shark Tank type of event, where we generate financing for a young entrepreneur. It's an 80% of that project are tech based. So how many people can use that? No, very few will use that, because there are a lot of tech. And unfortunately, if I had some tech idea, it's a very fastly, in the next 1 month or 2 months, somebody clone that very easily, because it's just on a computer system. It will, they can do that. If somebody want to go ahead, like in a younger age, they can whatever they listen or learn, but slowly in a, when they reach 2 years 3 years in a one entrepreneur segment, they need to be shifted, either not fully, but they need to be shifted some other segments too. That will be need for people put a lot of money on a it's a garments, still it's a because garments is a need, but young generation cannot do that. They are come into the fancy dresses, fancy t-shirts, and which will be expensive, so nobody want to, yeah, as per their idea what they seen. If they seen the Miley Cyrus TV show, or they've seen the Cardi B kind of people, then they can create that, but their buyer segment is a very lesser, and people now want to push more on profits. They are not thinking about the mass thing is also necessary, because it's a like a, I put my phone in a it's a phone holder, it's a phone stand, and it's a very basic, it's a very small thing. You can do something innovative in this and that, and it will be sold. And it will not take a lot of money, because young entrepreneur, they start their businesses, usually fathers or mothers credit card or their money, some of their, or use their pocket money. And when they lose their they cannot success in their first venture, their morale will be down. So in a basic, then maybe sometime most, it's a 70% people who failed in a first business cannot do the second business. This is the reality, because the current generation don't have a patience. They have a zero patience. When with their failure in a one segment, they cannot go with a similar kind of thing. So it's a very essential. If you are failure in a first step, don't worry. That's why in their first entrepreneur business cannot be a high cost, because with a very chances it will be the fail. If it will be grow, it will be fail in the next year, because this is happening with the 98% of unicorns. And unicorns usually created by the experienced business owners, still that failed. So
Love it.
this is the reality. This is the basic reality. People not understand that. That's why I said I started the chamber. I cannot go with the put up people. I did not take a single rupee from any member. I cannot appoint members by the paying by taking any money. Chambers do that. I cannot do that, because I know if I took a money from the members, I have to answer them continuously. And when I am not doing a lot of business activities, I know I need to generate. It will take 2 years or 3 years to take a good amount of profit. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Take care.